Hi, I'm Peter Howell and I'm going to tell you about a project that we've been working on at University College London. I'm a research professor and been involved in stammering research for something like 30 years now. In conducting surveys with schools, we established that they wanted some resources specifically for dealing with expressive speech difficulties. Some things that they can assess at later ages are relatively easy to determine. Another thing that we were told was that there's a lot of children in UK schools, and we confirmed this, who don't speak English as their native language, and when they come to schools they show some sort of hesitancy in their speech as well. Our first step was to apply a screen to children in schools, where we determined whether we thought a child was fluent or had some form of speech difficulty. And so the speech difficulties we divided into two classes. One's where we thought there was word finding difficulty, which was particularly prevalent amongst the children whose first language was not English, having difficulty in retrieving words that they don't know. And we needed a method that would identify those children and be able to separate them from those with speech difficulty proper. We showed that our procedure successfully did help screen children with language difficulties. We did that and reported it back to the schools, and they were very pleased with the results that we'd given. So they then asked if we could develop some in-school interventions that they could do as group-based procedures to take this work forward. And we've been working with various partners trying to look at the specific problems that children in schools have and how we can address these problems.
My name is Kevin Tang. I'm a psycholinguist with a background in experimental and computational phonology. My role in FIS is to implement models and develop resources to connect linguistic theories and experimental psychology. Specifically, I'm working with Professor John Harris, a theoretical phonologist, to incorporate current phonological theories about speech patterns of world languages. And with Professor Peter Howell, an experimental psychologist, we would investigate the differences in speech patterns and how they would affect the applicability of current diagnostic tools for speech fluency. Currently, we are investigating the effects of cross-linguistic transfer in multilingual children of Indo-European and East Asian languages. And we're doing that by modeling the phonological and semantic similarities between words within a language and across languages. Together as a team, we strive to create a direct impact to the field of linguistics and to the field of psychology, as well as to the general public.
I'm Dr. Steve Davis, and I'm a trustee of the Dominic Barker Trust. The Dominic Barker Trust is a charitable foundation set up with a view to funding research into stuttering, with the particular aim of the research producing practical applications to enhance the lives of people who stutter and their families. With this particular research project, the development of a screening instrument, we hope that this can be more widely developed, that a screening tool can be made available to schools generally to identify children who stammer at an early age, thereby helping them and their families to come to terms with the disorder and also assist in hopefully treatment that will promote recovery.
My name is Rachel Everard and I'm a speech and language therapist. I work at City Lit, which is a specialist centre in adult stammering therapy in London. Often when I meet people for the first time and they perhaps haven't had any therapy at all, they talk about how difficult it was for them in childhood, how often they were bullied or teased at school, that it made them sometimes withdraw into themselves. People who stammer often have very, very strong negative feelings and thoughts around stammering, and those have built up over the years from early childhood onwards. And so I think we have an important role in helping people to manage those more easily. And I think if children who stammer are identified early on in school, then the right support and the right help can be provided. That will go a long way to preventing a child develop all these negative feelings and thoughts around their communication, and they then stand a much greater chance of achieving their potential later in life.
I'm Nahim Bashir and I'm a PhD student at UCL. What tends to happen is you get caught up in the emotional aspects of it all, so it's like an iceberg. There's the physical behaviours are what you can actually see, but what's underneath is all the emotional stuff which you can't actually see, but it's the stuff which makes all the impact. And you fear speaking, so the avoidance of speaking becomes everything to you. And social situations, phone calls, relationships, jobs or careers which involve a lot of speaking, you decide which food to order at a restaurant depending on which items you can actually say. People usually think that just because they're children they don't really understand the concepts like self-esteem or whatever, but in the modern world it's obvious that it's something which is really present for them, and they do understand those terms and they do understand what it feels like to not really fit in with the people they hang around with, or when people laugh at them, for example, because of the way they speak. The earlier the intervention is, the higher chance they have to actually recover from this disorder and not carry it on into their adult lives, where it will cause many more problems. And so the interventions will really make a difference in the self-confidence and self-esteem aspects for the child, which is obviously very important.